Senator Susan Collins of Maine has a message for President Obama. She wants him to know Congress needs to vet his czars. Senator Collins is introducing an amendment that the White House may not be wild about. Senator Collins joins us. Good evening, Senator.
Good evening.
Senator, tell me about your amendment and why you want to vet the czars.
I'm very concerned about the proliferation of czars in the Obama administration. I'm concerned because they undermine the system of checks and balances that we have in our Constitution. It takes away from transparency, accountability, and the ability of Congress to exercise oversight. So what I've proposed is really quite straightforward. I've said that the czars who have policy roles should be available to testify at public hearings upon reasonable request, and twice a year should provide the oversight committees of Congress with a summary of their activities.
What's the reaction you get from your Democratic colleagues? I know that Senator Byrd last February wrote a letter because he was not happy with the whole process of czars, and there have been czars in other administrations. But what are the Democratic senators saying to your proposal?
Well, there are several Democrats, such as Senator Feingold and Senator Robert Byrd, who seem to share my concerns just from an institutional and constitutional perspective. But unfortunately, the Democratic leaders invoked a procedural roadblock that prevented me from getting a vote on my amendment when I tried to bring it up on the Senate floor. So there's never been a vote on the merits to determine where people stand. Senator Lieberman did hold a hearing on this issue at my request recently, and we explored this issue with a panel of experts.
Has the White House responded in any way? Maybe not, overtly or publicly, but are they putting pressure on, for instance, Majority Leader Reid to sort of keep this one quiet because they don't want their czars vetted at this time?
The White House certainly is opposed to my amendment and fought it very hard and encouraged the vote to be on a procedural matter so that I never got a vote at all on the underlying merits. The President's legal counsel did respond to a letter that I sent to the President, and he came up to discuss the concerns with me. Bottom line, the White House is saying that they are not going to make their czars, and there are some 18 of them that I've identified, available to Congress for oversight hearings. I think that's unfortunate. I think that's wrong.
Well, why? Okay, this is a White House, this is a presidency that ran on the word transparency. How can that not hit them right between the eyes? How can they possibly say no to you when they said that's going to be transparent? And so at least let the Senate talk to these czars who have very important roles in this administration.
This White House ran on a platform of total transparency, increased accountability, and I think that was very appealing to the American people. But until they start making the czars available to Congress at public hearings so that we can question them, they're not living up to the promise that they made the American people. And these czars are playing major roles. For example, Carol Browner is the one who negotiated the emissions agreements with the automobile industry. One would think that would have been the Senate-confirmed, Senate-accountable head of EPA. Instead, it was the White House Energy and Environmental czar. And it's not that I dispute that the President has the right to have advisors, but when czars are carrying out activities that are more appropriately done by the legally created cabinet officials, there's a real problem.
Senator, thank you and good luck. I'm always in favor of transparency, so I certainly appreciate you pushing on this one. Thank you, Senator.